Today I'm sharing with you my favorite Thanksgiving bread stuffing recipe. And this is a recipe that I've been making since the first time I actually made Thanksgiving dinner. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Anita and I absolutely love food. I'm creating here recipes of your favorite foods and desserts, allowing you to eat whatever you want simply by counting calories. So whether you're looking for low-calorie option or maybe just looking for a way of fitting your favorite foods into your lifestyle, you're in the right place. So go ahead and click the subscribe button and don't forget about the bell notification so you don't miss anything. I'm gonna start with cutting up some bread. I have a loaf of bread here. Sourdough bread is perfectly fine for this particular recipe. I like them the best, but if you cannot find one like that, you can buy regular country style bread. I suggest that you buy bread maybe a couple of days before you're planning to make this recipe. Let it sit outside for a little bit so it's not that fresh. It's like with the French toast. It's best if the bread is a little bit stale. I know that sounds weird, but trust me on this one, definitely best. Next, cut it up into small cubes. They shouldn't be too small, but don't make them big either. That it's much easier to handle them and then definitely eat when they on a small side. In the meantime, I preheated the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and I'm gonna put the bread about for 15, maybe 20 minutes for the bread to get crunchy and basically toasted. So while the bread is getting nice and toasty, I'm gonna prepare the stock for the bread stuffing itself, so the liquid part. And I have here about 12 ounces of mushroom. I'm gonna cut them up. And next, I'm gonna add celery. 2 long stalks of celery is enough for this one. And next, I'm gonna chop 1 big onion. And I have here some herbs. So I'm using here a sage, thyme, and parsley. Parsley I'm gonna add at the very end. So let's chop very finely all these herbs, and they, trust me, they give so much aromatics to the dish itself. It really makes a difference. And we're ready to start cooking the vegetables. So to a preheated pan, I added a tablespoon or half a tablespoon of butter. I always start a little bit on a small side and then I add butter as the vegetables are softening. And this recipe will need quite some amount of butter. I mean, the regular recipe called for 8 tablespoons and I usually get away with 4. So I guess you can use it to your taste, but I can strongly recommend you to use 4 tablespoons because actually it does have enough flavor and you don't need to add all that extra calories, of course. So I started here with putting some mushroom to the pan first, and as always with mushroom, leave it alone. Put it on a preheated pan and don't touch it till they release the liquid and let the liquid evaporate completely. So you have the mushroom brown, like you can see here. Some of them that were at the bottom, they started browning already. Because if you start stirring them too early, you're gonna have cooked mushroom, and that's definitely not what you want. And at this point, I'm gonna add another half a tablespoon of butter and let it melt into the mushroom. And the mushroom is pretty much ready to add onion next. And I'm gonna add celery right after and let the vegetables soften. I like to season with salt and pepper gradually, so at this point I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper as well. And now I'm gonna stir everything together and let it cook for about 15 to 20 minutes until all the vegetables soften. In the meantime, I'm gonna be adding butter. So far I have added already 2 tablespoons of butter. And next, since the vegetables are already softened, I'm gonna add the additional 2 tablespoons of butter just for the flavor of it. And as you can see, you don't need all 8 tablespoons of butter. I think it's way too much, overkill for me. And this amount of butter will really make the dish extremely flavorful. And as always, a little goes a long way. Once the vegetables soften enough, I'm gonna add 4 cups of chicken broth. To that, I'm gonna add all my herbs, which will include sage, thyme, and at the end, I'm gonna add a little bit of parsley as well. Right now you can just taste it and see if it's seasoned enough. If not, add a little bit of salt, a little bit of freshly ground pepper, and bring it to boil. And my breadcrumbs are nice and toasty, so I'm ready to assemble the whole dish. I'm gonna pick a big bowl here, just big enough so I don't make too much of a mess when I'm putting all the ingredients together. And now I'm gonna put the hot liquid on top of it and stir it very well. It definitely looks very yummy. Now into a baking dish. I put a little bit of butter around the baking dish so nothing sticks. And I'm gonna put the whole mixture of my bread stuffing right into it and spread it evenly around the whole baking dish. Now I preheated the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and I'm gonna bake it for about 15 minutes. So keep on checking on it and see if it's browned very well on top, it is ready. Finish it up with a little bit of parsley sprinkles on top and you're ready for your dinner. Thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next one.